He has been one of the most recognizable car dealers in our area for years, but since he almost always played second fiddle to a giant White Bear mascot at White Bear Mitsubishi, you might not actually know his name. His name is Richard Herod III, and I talk about him tonight because earlier this year, Richard suddenly hung it up. He sold his 2 car dealerships and he retired, but it wasn't because he wanted to. Kent's on the show to explain why his doctors told him he needed to, and to explain what Richard is doing now.
Jana, it was a car crash more than 3 years ago that put Richard on this early road to retirement. Though he appears fully recovered outwardly, he suffered a traumatic brain injury and a concussion that made operating his businesses unsustainable.
Courage Kenny Rehabilitation Institute in Stillwater has become a home away from home.
Ready?
Yep.
For Richard Herod III.
So we're just gonna track your eyes, watch your eyes move. So what you're gonna do is just gonna follow that red dot. Wherever I move it, try to keep your head still.
Occupational therapy is still a struggle, more than 3 years after suffering a traumatic brain injury and concussion.
Okay, take a break.
Okay.
And this is just the beginning.
So right now I have between 8 to 15 appointments, medical appointments, treatments, rehabilitations, and therapies every single week. It's kind of overwhelming sometimes, and I've had to learn how to adapt.
Deep breaths.
Adapt to chronic fatigue and nausea, brought on by eye strain and the stress of retraining his body.
I used to be able to type over 100 words a minute, and now I'm having a really hard time doing that. Is that normal for someone who's had a brain injury?
Yeah, it is common after a brain injury, just because things that used to be very automatic cannot feel so automatic. So the good news is that we can do some exercises, we can work on that.
The bad news is that work comes in place of the work Richard loved for so long.
I remember the Richard that I was. I felt like I was on top of the world. In my opinion, we were the best Mitsubishi dealership in the country. My fuzzy friend as my mascot sidekick, kind of did a viral video, no big deal, but we had a really, really good thing. And when your doctor tells you you need to give up your identity, I did feel like my life was over.
But while he grieved all that he lost, the people in Richard's life reminded him of all that he gave. The cars donated to families in need. The donations, sponsorships, and pride he brought to the LGBTQ+ community through his advocacy as a gay business owner. And the visibility he brought to the deaf community as a child of deaf parents himself. And with all that reflection came clarity.
I want my legacy to be philanthropic in nature. I want my legacy to be community.
Which now includes embracing his new community.
Hi, my name is Richard Herod III. I'm a traumatic brain injury survivor, and I'm here today to talk to you about the Minnesota Brain Injury Alliance.
It's actually called Richard's Challenge. Super creative, I know, but it's all we had. But we actually had a donor for the Minnesota Brain Injury Alliance that provided $10,000 of matching funds if I can raise $10,000 by Sunday night. And so far, as we're taping this, I think I'm up to about $3,000, which is great. I want to give back. I want to help others because I don't know how much awareness there is to people with brain injuries, particularly because a brain injury is invisible. Someone can look okay on the outside, but they're not. This new phase of my life is about finding as much of myself back as I can. I may not ever be what I was before, but that needs to just be okay.
If you'd like to know more about Richard's challenge, we have a link to all of the info on KARE11.com. And if you need more proof that he's doing much more than okay, Walser Automotive Group hired him as a community ambassador this week. He says it's just a few hours a week, but it gives him a chance to reconnect with an industry he loves.